Welcome to the final word, Everton 0, Manchester City 2 at Goodison Park. On Saturday, disappointing result in the end for Everton, who did all right for the most part of it. Injury changed the game, it felt like, certainly in the stadium. And Ped, sadly for us, Everton Man City fixtures of late usually ends in a loss. I think we haven't beaten them at Goodison since 2017. But I did feel going into this one, there was an opportunity there Saturday, and for 50 minutes it looked like that opportunity was there, and injury changed the feel of it a little bit. But even then, we still sort of hung in there till we give silly goals away, or certainly a silly goal away.
Yeah, I think just City's overall quality, just having that extra, not quality within the game as such, because all they did is just pass. But just the overall quality, wasn't it, in the end, bringing the subs on and wearing us down, and that's the big part of the game now, isn't it? The big part of the game is what have you got coming off the bench, and how can you change it? And they did, and our subs couldn't do that. And that's the story of the game, really. There's not much else to say. Well, there is.
All right,
stay with it. There's not much more to say on like, in terms of how much they did and stuff. It was just, it come down to those little moments where players not maybe fully concentrating on what their jobs were and things like that. It catches you out in the end, and you need a level of concentration for the entire game, and we just didn't have it.
The team, obviously, Brien continued up front, and it was pretty much, I guess you could have just named the team beforehand and thought that's what it'd be, because that's what it was. And thought City got into it straight away, didn't they? Their passing game, and they do just wear you down without, obviously missing Rodri was amazing, missing Haaland, he was a big presence for them up front. But they just keep the ball so well, don't they? They're all comfortable on the ball. The opening 15 minutes was a bit of making sure we just had the shape about us to not let them pass through us. And we sort of got through it without them doing anything, really. Those moments when we did break, we just don't have the quality, do we? We sort of hesitating. We've had chance. I said this in my match reaction on Saturdays, like, just shoot more. Yeah. Because to me, Stefan Ortega's, he's all right, but he's not Ederson's level. No. And we had 3 or 4 chances to shoot in that opening 20-25 minutes, and we passed it up and played the ball wide. And then Jack Harrison, who thought had a good game actually, still having to check back to put crosses in because he's on the wrong side. We weren't getting people in at the back post. He put 2 in. One, Mykolenko gambles, he'd be in. The other one, Decore, starts to run and just stops. And it's like, well, unless he puts it on Broge's head, our opportunity's gone. You've got to make that moment. Whereas they're more, we see with them, the more incisive they have runners. And with De Bruyne, you can't not watch him for a second. His passing ability is incredible.
There's moments, I think the difference between the teams is like, when there was times where we were trying to like pass it around, and we were getting joy, but it was just, when you watch the balls we're playing to, they're like a bouncing, and they're just, they take a player needs to take a touch or two, whereas theirs is just sharp and quick, and the level of footballer is just on the next level to ours, but of course, when the opposition have got a pressing game like they have, I know it's not as good as it was, but obviously if that touch is not exactly right the first time, it pressures you into going backwards, whereas it's always really comfortable, isn't it? And they're always moving, so therefore you press on them and they're gone really quickly. And even though I think we dealt with it quite well, because the simple fact is, it's great doing all that passing, but if you haven't got any focal point up front, then it doesn't really go anywhere. So I think we dealt with it quite well, but we didn't have an outlet, and I think the manager made maybe, mistakes. It might be a bit harsh, but I think, but the Brozier thing is, to me, I don't see it working. And I think actually this was a game for Beto, because City played such a high line. I mean, there was times where their centre-back were 5 yards in our half. So if Beto had started, and I always think he's better when he starts, he can gamble a lot more. When he came on, he got caught offside a few times because he's trying to gamble. But and okay, people can moan about that, but I don't mind that as much because he's just trying. You're trying to get in behind him, and I think if he'd started the game with that much space behind them, and also their backline's been all over the place this season, disrupt them where Brozier wants to drop in, he wants to go deep, he wants to pick the ball up. You can't go long as well when you're under pressure, which I know people don't like happening, but it does. You do need to do that. You need to take the pressure off your own lads and win the second ball. And I just think it didn't work. But what I would say is that people have asked for a little bit of experimentation. And this is what happens. I spoke last week after the Forest game, and I was straight after the game and saying how good it was, the feeling that we've won. And there wasn't much experimentation as such. It was the same team, and you know, the subs all worked. And the week later, it's the same team again, and you know, the subs didn't work. And sometimes that happens because you're playing against better teams. You're playing at home rather than playing away where maybe your system's going to work. The manager now has to look at this and think, did it work, did it not work? No, well, let's look at the next thing. Where was Schmitty? Schmitty, can he get an opportunity now? Mathematically, everything's sorted out. But it just didn't work in this game for me.
No. And that was the thing, is that we can all go, oh, shitty, they've been poor this season. The fourth, they've still got unbelievable talents. Okay, they're below what we're used to with them. No doubt they'll bounce back next season, none whatsoever. Watch them on Saturday, you're right, every player just unbelievable. I was so impressed with Nico O'Reilly.
Yeah,
he was unbelievable. Him and De Bruyne were head and shoulders for me above anyone on the pitch. He was unbelievable, young player. Don't think he's going to be a left back.
No, he's not a left back, is he?
He's number 10 in the thing. He's far too, too much ability.
That's what they found out, isn't it? They found out, actually, this season, that they've got 3 or 4 young players that maybe in a different season would have got sold, and they might have ended up with a Cole Palmer situation again, or whatever, or McAtee might have gone, and you're looking and going, why on earth? So maybe for them it's a down season, but maybe they've saved a little bit of money, or not saved it as such, they'll still spend it, but now they can really target those areas they need to. And yeah, it's, you know, they're still an immense team. They're not the team they were. You can see that. You can see that the players.
But still, you put Rodri, Ederson, and Haaland in, they go up another level.
Yeah, but I think they're an aging squad that needs to, like. But we've got youngsters coming through, but it's that sort of like 23, mid-level, 23 to 28 sort of level that they need to really get players in for now. And they've already started that, of course. But they're still technically a superb team, because at the end of the day they have 75% of the possession, so that means that you don't have as much time to create chances as they do, and people have got to remember that. And the chances we did get, you know, again, all off set pieces mostly, but they nearly were.
I think the manager in his press conference afterwards, I think he got it right. He summed it up brilliantly with, like, we're doing really well, and a lot of people turned up and thought we beat these. And we could have done. If we could have done that. It wouldn't have been because we're as talented as Manchester City, but we had a really good game plan. The players are given everything. I can't fault any of them. No. The manager's done an incredible job. We're here in April. It's all done and dusted. It's been done and dusted since mid-March. He's done a fabulous job with the same set of players. A lot of these players that people said weren't good enough clearly are good enough to reach a level. But when you're trying to go toe-to-toe, I watched. This is just going off topic very slightly, but when I got home and I was editing the stuff, and I had Villa and Newcastle on, unbelievable game of football, but Villa, unbelievable. Like on Saturday, they were unbelievable. But it's all power and pace, and we're really lacking in that. And I think when you put that, if Everton could add a few into this disciplined, hard-working players they've got, it'll take Everton to another level again. At the top of that level, Manchester City, the best team that's come to Goodison and kept the ball. We can't get the ball off them, and I hope no Man City fan takes this in the wrong way. It's boring. Yeah, it is boring. Because what they do is, it's boring for, like, the opposition, same for them. But you said it right at the very start. They grind you down because you just can't get the ball off them. And that is because they are fantastically talented footballers. Every touch is comfortable. Everyone, it's fired in, bang, killed, the heads up. I'm watching Bernardo Silva and Kevin De Bruyne below me. And Mykolenko had a cracking game, he really did. Them two, it's just passing it. They're not even looking. It's coming. They're not worried about control. Where, no disrespect to the likes of the Corey, but it's like he's panicking, getting it under control, and not just him, by the way, others in that. James Garner, although working his socks off, not as comfortable. No. We've said this before. Me personally, when I'm looking at the next us to move up, an outlet on the right, Jack Harrison had a really good game. Dwight McNeil come on and was miles off it. We need someone on the right that can worry them. Imagine if we had Doku. Doku's not amazing, but he's an outlet, isn't he? He's quick and he worries people. You look at that, but we need someone in that middle of the park who can put the foot on the ball, because they had them all over the pitch. When you've got them all over the pitch, it's so difficult. But saying that, we did have moments where we broke on them, and that's what I'm saying, those little moments of quality. And we were unlucky with James Tarkowski's header. That could hit the post and go in. You know, it's a set piece, and Man City fans might be like, bloody hell, you rely. But we are relying on that, because you are miles better, and the squad has had a lot of money spent on it versus us, where it hasn't. You see the quality of players. But I'm sat here praising a lad who's come through in O'Reilly. Thought he was fabulous. Just another one off that production line. But for us, it is those moments right now, and it is the moments of experimentation. I mean, we only really... Jordan Pickford made a good save from Nunes, and that was rare. I know, sorry, De Bruyne at the left foot one, which Jake O'Brien done brilliantly with. But that for Manchester City was it in the first half, wasn't it? We'd had not much either. We passed up the opportunity too many times to shoot. But I thought we'd come out second half with a little bit more, sort of... I think the manager said, go and get after them now, it's 0-0. And we had a couple of moments right at the start. Got the chance here that Jarrod Branthwaite got early on in the second half. James will just put the stills up. It's a set piece again. It's floated in, and Branthwaite, obviously I've got the arrow there, he's just going to watch, because Tarkowski wins most of them, doesn't he? And he's gambling, and he just gambles. Tarkowski wins it, and he gets himself on his own with the goalkeeper. If you take it on one more, James, this is the moment. I thought he was just going to edit down. And he takes the keeper out the game, because what Ortega's doing is just making a star. He's just jumping. And if Branthwaite just guides it down, it's 1-0. Take it on again. You see it, think better than that. He's just put his hand up there. And then one more, James, from behind. See, he's just made that movement. If he just heads that down, Everton are winning 1-0.
I actually thought he had time to even let it drop and just volley it in. But I think what he's tried to do, he's tried to catch the goalie out, hasn't he? And not nod it over him. But it was a massive moment in the game, and we did start the second half well. And you know, our XG, I checked on the game, had gone up massively. We were for most of the second half, it was we had the most. It was a big moment, and again, as you said, it's a well-drilled set piece, because we do rely on set piece. We still don't score loads of goals.
No.
You know, it's gone up a little bit, but it hasn't gone up by much. We don't score that many goals. It is a major issue that this team and David Moyes needs to solve for next season. Not scoring goals. Everyone else seems to be able to do it without too much issue, apart from the teams at the bottom. We still are really struggling on just scoring basic goals.
It's because Beto stopped scoring.
Yeah, and that's it. And it was the purple patch for Beto that has got us out of trouble. But we just don't have that, and it's those moments that you have to take. And we didn't take it, and again, you know, that didn't change the game, of course, but it didn't help.
But if he heads that in, it's a different thing.
Yeah, it's a different game.
All of a sudden, like, the City still could have come out and scored 3 because they're that good, but you have something to hang on to, and I think the crowd would have gone up. The crowd were brilliant anyway, but I think the crowd would have gone up. And then obviously a few minutes later, we go and lose James Tarkowski, who's been unbelievable signing. Listen, people will have a go with him at times. He has some rash moments, as we saw in the derby, which was rush of blood, which was ridiculous. But in general, he's been a fantastic signing for us. Never missed any games. He was a couple short of breaking a record that you said before, and just stretching for a ball. And it was mad, because I remember Phil Jagielka doing this, playing against Man City, which it was his cruciates, and it was the same kind of thing, and it was in the same area of the pitch. It was just a knotting ball, and he just put his leg out and his leg. And I seen Tarkowski punching the floor straight away, and he seemed to be holding his knee, and I was thinking,
I thought his knee.
I hope that isn't his knee. It's his hamstring. He doesn't come off. the fact that he was walking off the way he was, well, I'm hoping it's just a quick strain and he's back in a couple of weeks, but I think I'm massively being hopeful for that. We don't know. But him going off there, it just unsettled everybody, didn't it? And now listen, without, Michael Keane's a centre-back, played a lot of games in the Premier League, but me personally, I would have put Patterson on, shifted O'Brien inside, simply because I can't remember the last Premier League game Michael Keane played. It was back in the early part of the season.
You wanted to forget.
But it was back in the early part of the season where Nathan Patterson played left back against Arsenal 2 weeks ago and had 80 minutes. And I think the manager got that, me personally, I think he made a big mistake.
I think he got it wrong. I think as soon as it happened, I said to the people, we all said round, there's got to be Patterson. And to bring Keane on, I know he explained it. He's explained it, saying he didn't want to move 2 positions, but he's also said in the after press conference, he's basically said, didn't say I got it wrong, but he sort of said, I've learned something. I've learned something if we're without those 2. And Keane's done. He's done. The future's Patterson and the future is O'Brien. Or the future might be Patterson, let's just say, but he's got the best opportunity. You've got 3 right backs sitting on your bench.
Yeah.
And I just thought, if you're going to Jake O'Brien's a centre back, it's not true. I know they have instructions, and I understand all that. Being brief before the game, subs and all that. But I just think when you're in the midst of it, I think Jake O'Brien will understand. And Jake O'Brien wasn't having the best game at right back either. So therefore, it was almost like 2 birds with 1 stone. Get him inside. I'm not saying he would have been more comfortable, but I think on Saturday we saw for the first time Jake O'Brien against real tricky, pacey wingers. He got stretched a little bit, I thought. I just don't think, as a centre-back, being that tall, I just don't think you are sort of capable of dealing with what a winger can do, what those wingers can do. I'm not saying he had a terrible game, by the way. No. I'm just saying, like, body size and how you shift and all that. And we saw that against Forest with Alanga bringing him in, not Alanga, sorry, the other kid. Yeah, bringing him inside, and you're not really having an answer to that because the body size is not built for that. Whereas that's why fullbacks are fullbacks, a little bit smaller, a little bit quicker. I just thought, move him inside, get Patterson out there, and just sort of, and you know what? You could have even gone Seamus, and you could have even gone Ashley Young, just to calm things down, to deal with the wide man, and then Jake O'Brien. I'm not saying it would have been the same. Michael Keane is, we all know,
he's leaving the club.
6 weeks. His better days are behind him, and it unsettles the crowd as well. And you have to remember that it unsettles the crowd.
Maybe to be fair, the manager mightn't be aware.
No, that's fine, but that, I think it unsettles everybody, and then you're almost waiting for the accent to happen. It didn't take long.
Well, he got booked, but this is the other thing as well that didn't help his cause. He got booked within a few minutes of coming on with his first tackle. And to be honest, Simon Hooper had the shocker of the game, the referee. And when he booked Keane, he should have booked O'Reilly as well, because Jack Harrison was away from him and he fouled him, and it was a booking and he didn't book him. He went and booked, he was too interested in going to book Keane. But once Michael Keane was booked, it meant he couldn't really go in for proper tackles, and we saw that late on with their first goal. We saw him lose 2 50-50s, which he shouldn't have lost, which led to the goal. But it did unsettle us. But then we sort of, Jordan Pickford's made the save that he should save from Savino straight at him. But Everton still had a couple of moments themselves. We had one which was really disappointing, which was a ball in behind, and Brozier was in with Guardiola. And you're thinking, go on, you're in. And he's running in behind, and Guardiola leans on him, he falls over, and he's like, you're massive. And I've sort of said, I think there's something in Brozier, and there's definitely ability in there. I don't believe he's a striker. I think he drops too deep. I think in a 2 he can do it. But for me, and I know David Moyes basically said this wasn't even on the table the other day, but if you're going to use him, I'd use him wide as a wide striker. He drops, like you said before, he wants to drop so deep to pick the ball up, to turn and run at people. He can't. You've got to be the focal point. And I think Beto would have enjoyed wrestling with Guardiola and Diaz at the weekend. And that one there, I think Beto would have just lent into one of them, would have had the strength, and he would have been in on Ortega. And then we had not a bad little move actually, and Decore drags it onto his left foot and hits it in all time. It's a comfortable save, but it's a save at the near post at least. And just a couple of moments where you were like, It's 0-0.
Yeah.
We can make better pass selection or whatever. The manager he took Brozier off and put Beto on. And then he took off and he has explained that he said it was him or James Garner were
He was
both
on a yellow
suffering,
card, wasn't
and
he?
he was also on a booking. But we did lose once
we lost.
even off the energy went, and Alcaraz came on and Iraburum come on, and we actually really poor choice by Alcaraz. Really good breakdown. We're at breaking at pace. He's got Mykolenko. He's got, I think it's the Corey running ahead of him. And he finds the City player, and if he plays the right ball, we've got 4 men in the box for the cross, and he hits it, and they just nip in and put us on the back foot. And it was those moments, and I know we'll go on to the goal in a minute, but it was those moments where you still had a bit of encouragement. But the subs just didn't change it, and I think the manager said himself, the subs never affected it.
He said, didn't he? He explained that because he brought Taki on, and he'd obviously. He took Toffee off and he brought Beto on. He only had one more sub window, which I think is. I find that mad. I find if a player goes off for an injury and it's a clear injury, the referee should be able to say this isn't counted as one of your windows. Because I just find that mad that you're dictated to. So he's made 3 subs all in one go that he wouldn't have done normally. I don't think he would have kept a little bit more of the shape. And as soon as he made the sub, we just lost all shape. Alcaraz are not even where was he playing? You know what I mean? It's like he's not.
Well, Alcaraz was on the left.
No, but what I mean by that is we lost the actual shape of the team because the discipline isn't there to stay in your shape when you've got a centre midfielder or number 8 moving over to the left, and it just didn't work. And Dwight looked really sluggish. He looked really. I mean,
he went on his first run, then held the back of his knee, and then was limping after about 30 seconds. So I'm thinking, is he going to have to go off now? He couldn't run. Yeah,
he couldn't run. There was one where the ball got turned around, and he was trying to run back towards our goal, and it was like a proper snail's pace. So I don't know whether he's done something, but he was really sluggish. So we lost all shape. We lost anything going forward. There was one break where we played it round the back and Beto got it. It was just a really poor choice. He done the hard bit by getting on the other side and making a little nudge, and he can't find one of our players, so we give it away again. And they just didn't. And by the way, last week these subs worked. These subs worked last week, so it's not a case of digging into anyone. These subs worked, but they just didn't work in this game. And
she had to try this week. I mean, don't forget, Dwight was on in the 89th minute last week at Forest, and it broke and it worked out brilliantly. But I had to put McNeil on the left in front of Mykolenko, and I had Alcaraz on the right, just because he's quick. Dwight, he's not the quickest, is he? And they had Toffee on that below me, who is quick, and there was one where it was like Premier League pace v Championship pace. He got the first ball and McNeil come to him, he knocked it. And he was on the edge of our box, and Dwight was still below me, just trying to run. And it just set where they didn't have that pace on the other side.
But I do think it shows how important the Tarkowski sub was, because if he brings Patterson on there and he moves, and Jacob Brien goes on the inside, then because I think you're looking at that, then you're giving yourself 10 more minutes, and you're looking at it going, our right hand side's struggling here, and you can't you don't really want to take Jacob Brien off. If you got that fit, I always think if you get the subs are not just the people you bring on, it's the sequence you bring them on as well. I think if he gets that first one right, and he can swap them over and Patterson on, and then it revives the right hand side, and Patterson's giving us a little bit more joy, a little bit more against Doku, and it just ebbed away. It ebbed away, and you could I was confident we were going to see the game out, and then you just seen that their subs just took them up a level, and our subs dragged us down a level. And where we were so close to each other for 83, 84 minutes, okay, quality maybe not the same, but just
game plan.
Then it just gave them that extra little bit, and then
they don't need that extra.
And then retaining the ball, so they become not just retaining the ball, but creating really good chances, and it was soon just taken away from us.
Yeah, so gutting. Really, it was disappointing because the lads have given everything, hadn't they, at that point. And I know, listen, for us to move forward, it's got to be more than that, but we can't sort of...
You've got to have that level first,
but we also can't sort of be totally unrealistic and forget that this is a team that is still very good. Still might win the FA Cup, by the way, still might win a trophy. probably going to get in the Champions League. Well, it will. City will be in the Champions League. They'll get in the Champions League again. Still a top side. You know, we're still short, and you said it before, we don't score goals, so them areas are real key. And the pace thing, I think they just look like athletes and they're quick. And ours are real committed lads who've got lots of good points about them, but they're not runners.
When subs come on and they look like they've been on for 80 minutes,
no, that's not.
That's not good, is it?
It's not good. We did sort of, you know, when Ghana, we did concede what is a very Manchester City goal across the ages. But it was a goal that I've got 2 or 3 issues with, to be honest, when you break it down. And again, it's easy sitting and looking back at it and going, what's he doing? There is the 80 whatever minute it was, 83rd minute. They have give a lot in the game. Concentration levels had to be high because they're a good side. But I think when David Moyes breaks it down and the coaching staff, and when the players see it again, they will be like, that was so... And I know most goals are avoidable because it's normally a mistake, but I think he'll be really disappointed with the goal. Got the... James going to put these on. So this is Manchester City's first goal. So it's... Michael Keane lost 2 block tackles before they played the ball out to the right-hand side. They've got O'Reilly circled on the edge of the box. He's the goal scorer. So we've got Irabunum with Nunes. Just take it back once, Jay, sorry. So Irabunum and Nunes are circled. Mykolenko's looking after Bernardo Silva. And we're okay. We've outnumbered them. We're in decent shape there. Okay, take it on one for us. So Irabunum continue to track Nunes. Although Nunes the wrong side of him. We're still okay. You know, we've got 5 versus 2. Go on again. So Nunes now comes back round to get on side. Irabunum's seen him off. We're still all right. Take it on again, James. We go on again. Now Nunes makes the run. Now Irabunum, for me, has to go where I've put the arrow, which is behind Mykolenko, to be a double block for the cross, instead of just standing worried. Because really, he should have gone with Nunes and Mykolenko should have gone to Silva. But this is what they're trying to do. O'Reilly's circled in the middle. Brantwaite's looking at him. Take it on one. He puts himself next to Michael Keane, and Keane sees him here. But Mykolenko hasn't got close enough to Nunes again. So therefore, he's going to cut that cross. Take it on one more. Now, this is the bit I don't get. Michael Keane, when you see it live, sees O'Reilly, so he's with him. But he lets O'Reilly get ahead of him. But I don't also understand why Jordan Pickford goes with his feet for this. I really don't understand. Surely, when it's cut back, you go with your hands, and it's like me being in goal, I'd go with my feet. But I don't understand why he's doing almost a slide tackle to block a cross instead of going with his hands. Because if he goes with his hands, the worst it's going to be, it'll go out for a corner. Goes with his foot. Brantwaite doesn't make any attempt to cut it out. Take it on one. And it's a tap in for O'Reilly because it's beat Pickford. Keane hasn't got in front of him. Brantwaite's let it come across. And I think the manager, when he looks back at that, and the coaching staff, will be like, that was avoidable here. And we've got it. And we've been really good because we haven't conceded goals like that. But that to me is a Manchester City goal. Work, in bang, crossing it in the net. And it was like avoidable. There was a couple of great moves that they had and it didn't quite come off. If they put one in the top corner or wherever you go, it's Man City, isn't it?
I think if Tarkowski's on the pitch, O'Reilly bounces off Tarkowski's shoulder there.
Yeah, he wouldn't let him pass them, especially when he sees.
But also the start of it, like the left on the left side, like where's Alcaraz there? Do you know what I mean? Like where's the actual, like, where's the shape? Where's the left sided player in front of the? As I said, it just the subs for me unsettled. Unsettled the shape of the team. The midfield was so wide open. I'm not convinced on Tim Irabunum. I really aren't.
I don't know where his.
I'm not talking about that, by the way. No. I don't know what
my thing with Irabunum is he wants to go forward all the time, so therefore to me he's almost got to be the player that travels with the ball, so he's got to beat the core, really.
But I'm just not convinced on him, and I don't mean that in an horrible way. I think he needs a loan. The thing I struggle with him is I don't think he's got street. I don't think he's street smart. I don't think he looks like a typical under 21 player, like a really good under 21s player who has been able to stroll around midfields without anyone tackling him or anything. And now he's in the Premier League, and he wants time, or he doesn't react when other people are reacting. And I think he needs maybe a loan next season for me, because I just don't think he's at that level. I think things just pass him by. And I know loads of people were encouraged by what he did.
He was really good
when he
before he got injured.
But I think a little bit of that was just the freshness of it all, and I just think once it's settled down, I think he does need a loan. And that's not me being horrible to him or going, well, and people go, well, he only played 10 minutes. It's what I've seen collectively in games of being not switched on to what's going. And I think when a player comes off the bench, they have to be switched on. They've been sitting there watching it for 80 odd minutes. They have to, or whatever he came on, they have to be switched on to what's going on. See where you can influence the game, see how you can get the better of somebody or whatever. And he's come on and he's not switched on in that moment, and not picking him out. What I'm saying is there's a player there, but it's how we develop him next.
I still think he'll be better. I think he's better driving with the ball than he is sort of sitting. He had to go in the Garner's position, which is a bit more of a, you've got to, because Idrissa goes and nicks that off someone, doesn't he? It's just the way he does. I don't think Everton, I think that's an area where we need a player, actually. We need someone who can sit, who's good on the ball, though, and dictate. I think Tim wants to drive forward with it, which is fine.
I think our midfielders need energy. They need like loads of energy. And apart from, it's so noticeable. Like, Idrissa Gana Gueye, even at his age, gets round the pitch and gets a foot in, and you'll see the energy. With James Garner, you don't really see that, even though I don't think I thought he had a decent game. But it's not the same kind of physicality, is he? He's not a big, strong lad, although he did throw himself into some really good tackles on Saturday. What I mean is, you look at some of people's other midfields, and you said it before, how big, like Newcastle have got one of the best midfields in the country, and you look at them all, and there's three lads who are big, powerful, strong, can get all over, can put the tackles in, but can also go the other way. We have we pigeonhole lads, because it's like, Cinnamon Boonham should be like, I can do all these jobs.
He looks like he's got the attitude.
I'm a physical player, I'm a big player, I can get around the pitch, I'm a decent passer, but not seeing that. James Garner has like one of those things. Idrissa as one of those things, even though his is the most positive for where he plays. I think we have to bring in at least a couple that can take those energy levels up. I
think Armstrong will be one of them.
I do.
Listening to what Moyes said.
Yeah, I do think.
But I do think we need another one.
I just think we need almost like a ready-made one who's got. That's why he likes the Corey at the end of the day, isn't it? Because he has got some of those attributes. He hasn't got all of them, but he's got some of them.
So it was a real frustration.
Yeah.
And then when you're given, City 10, they've only got to sort of hang on, but you know what I mean. You got 10 minutes to manage the game to the best that managed in the game.
Didn't let it go on them after that.
No, that's what I mean. Just kept it to the best at it. I mean, the second goal is a bit spawny. It's a block tackle.
He loves scoring goals like that, doesn't he? When he's falling over.
Yeah. But it was a block tackle on the left wing that ricocheted perfectly to Doku, who puts it in. It's a great finish from Kovacic. He's Gundogan holds it up and lays it off. It's a good finish. And one or two, it didn't matter. Once they got one, it was game over, wasn't it? And it's frustrating, but you can't be. It's just one of those things, and we're in a position. I just wanted to quickly talk about that before we get back to the game. Is that it is done. Ipswich lost 4-0. It's all over. It doesn't matter. And I heard, it was interesting because I heard Jamie Carragher talking about Trent Alexander-Arnold, saying, well, he's basically not staying now. That's it. He sort of said it, so don't play him anymore. No, play can't, because I've got to be planning for next season. I'm giving people a go, and I think that's where we are now. We're safe now. Okay, there's 2 points between us at the time of recording, and 2 points between us in 13th and West Ham in 17th. And there's a lot of teams there, and I'm not saying throw games away to fully experiment, but there's a chance now, isn't it? We've had this ongoing
How many do you experiment with, though?
No, but we've had an ongoing thing, haven't we, with Tarkowski, Jake O'Brien and Patterson. Like, how do you take Tarky out? Well, and you never go... Well, he's out now. So now, and the manager's comments I thought were very interesting on Saturday. How to say, I'm not impressed with someone by never using their name. And I think O'Brien will play centre-back now. And I think, you said before, he's got 3 choices, but for me, I don't see Seamus staying after this season. I really don't think he'll be a coach for next season. I don't think Ashley Young will be here. So there's 2. And I think Patterson's got a few games to go. Yeah. I'm good enough to be in this squad. I think now's the only way you learn. Yeah. Get him in, get O'Brien in. So and then go, right, well, we'll see whether Jake is any good. Because if Jake struggles over these next 5 games at centre-back, then you go, you're our right-back then, mate. I'm not saying you're amazing, but no one's really given him a chase, and he wasn't amazing Saturday, but no one's like, I've not come out of a game going, bloody hell, O'Brien got roasted there. And he's been up against really good players, but it gives us an opportunity to look what he's like with Branthwaite there. Yeah. And then to see whether Nathan Patterson is actually capable or he isn't. Got 5 games, you've got 2 years left, so there's got to be some kind of decision made this summer. I'm not saying make 6 changes, but I look at Brozier, and like I said before...
But Brozier can't play Saturday anyway.
And he can't play anyway, so for me, I look and go, I think you've got some good attributes, but if David Moyes only sees you as a number 9, you can't win, it's no good being at us. No. Because... you don't stretch defences, you want to drop deep, so therefore you're back on that loop again. So Chimiti should be back in the squad this weekend. I imagine Beto will start, but then you're looking for Chimiti, and I'm thinking, well, Chimiti's got to get at least half an hour at Chelsea, got to, so he's another one you look at. There's not many more.
Well, what did you make of that, though? What did you make of Chimiti not being on the bench, though? Because the manager was asked again, and he just basically said there's no space on the bench. I mean, but he played 3 right-backs, so I mean, he had 3 right-backs on the bench. Like he said last week, Seamus wasn't on the bench because he had 2 right-backs, and now we've got 3 right-backs on the bench. So what does that say about Chimiti, or where Chimiti is? Because
maybe he just hasn't trained well this week.
But maybe he hasn't trained. We all saw him against West Ham, and we all were like impressed by him. And he's hardly had a kick since. No. And you just wonder, is the manager trying to...
He come on Anfield, though, in a derby, and then he wasn't in the squad. Oh, sorry, he was sub at the weekend, never got on against... It was Arsenal, wasn't it? Didn't get on the pitch at Forest.
So is the manager pushing him? Is the manager saying, listen, you don't train well enough, we have standards here, and you're not living up to those standards?
Well, Pickford's come out, hasn't he, and said about the training. What this manager's done is like, you win every day in training, we drive each other. Well, if you're in training and
you're not doing that.
You might have just turned up last week and you've not had a good week, and doesn't. See, we need that. We need someone to go, you've not been good in training, mate, so you're on the pick. How else am I going to pick you? Can't pick you and go, oh, you're Chimiti, so you'll be on the... No, mate, because you've done nothing.
You've done nothing.
You've done nothing yet, so you have to be at it 100%. And maybe it's that. Yeah, listen, I do think... I love Moyes, and he's been great. I do think he looked at it, City, and gone, it's City, I want Seamus on there, because still that little thing of, we might need Seamus' experience or young, and Chimiti's probably not going to get on the pitch, so therefore he's an easy drop. With Chimiti coming into training Monday, I'm like, well, I should be on the bench at the weekend because Brozier can't, and I'm going to show him that actually maybe I'm worth a start in a couple of weeks. Got to start doing it.
The manager's reiterated on so many occasions that some of these players, lots of these players, won't be here, you know, because the standards have to go up. Everton, in reality, should have a whole new team in 3 years' time. In reality,
without a shadow.
Should have like every position on the pitch should be, whether it's because of age or whatever, or players being sold, or should have a completely new team in modelled on what Moyes wants. And if you're not pulling it out every day in training, then that's what's going to happen, isn't it? And the manager said loads of times, and this is why I'm not convinced that he'll make like wholesale changes, because I don't think we've got wholesale changes for a start, but because I think he's still trying to keep that. We're up, we're safe, and I will have a look at some years, but I also want to finish as high as I can. I don't want to finish 4th from bottom.
No.
I want to make sure I finish with 40 odd points, and it's more than just the 2 home games. It's Fulham away, it's Chelsea on Saturday.
Away's a chance. Not a great side at all.
No. So it's a case of like, I want to finish with the most, to challenge every single player, and I know, that argument's been there, and about, it is funny because me and James were having a discussion a couple of weeks ago about Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Chimiti, and now Chimiti's not even getting on the bench. So it's like, the manager's pushing everybody. He's trying to drive standards up. Yes, I think we all agree he got it wrong on Saturday. He tried something, it didn't work. He probably won't do that again. And it'll be, it'll be interesting to see what happens this weekend. But I just want to keep winning. I want to try and keep winning, get as many points on. But at the same time, I'd like to see Schmidt get opportunities. Patterson get opportunities, but I think
there's not too many more though now, is there?
No, there's
because
not.
You look and you go, Irabun, okay, well, I imagine he'll keep getting on the pitch, so it's up to him. Again, he's another one. He got to start against Arsenal, against the team second in the league. Now, if the manager thinks he's dipped below, then he's got to pick his head back up.
You've got to come on the pitch when you get an opportunity and show signs. Like McNeil comes on the pitch Saturday, he's not starting against Chelsea after that performance. Not a chance on earth.
No.
Not a chance on earth. There's no one to take Harrison's position because Lindstrom's done. So it is difficult now because we're so. And I think what he showed against Arsenal it was like you'll get opportunities if opportunities are there for you. So Patterson, I'll play you at left back rather than playing Aslung at left back because I want to see you and this is your opportunity. Tino Irabun 3 days after Garner's played at Anfield where he wasn't very good, but at the same time he's played 3 days earlier and it's an early kick-off. That's an opportunity. So I think players have to create opportunities. Tino Irabun has to come on the pitch and do really well for the 20 minutes he's on the pitch. If he doesn't, don't be surprised that you don't start the next game, mate. You've got when people are asking for young players to be given an opportunity, you've got to create those opportunities. If Carlos Alcaraz wants to start games, my God, mate, you better come on and do something. And you didn't on Saturday. Okay, against Forest, thought you did all right, and maybe now we're closer to the end of the season, and we are safe. The manager might go, I'll play for the next 3 games because that'll take you up to 8 starts. And it doesn't trigger the thing, but I get to see you properly. That might happen. Maybe from the Ipswich game onwards, those 3 games, whatever, you might look at it like that. But if you want a chance, you better get on the pitch and give yourself the best opportunity. And that's why, for me, Patterson should have come on, because against Arsenal, I thought he had a really good game in a position that is not his own. And that's where I was a little bit disappointed. Well, I don't think Keane deserved to be on that pitch.
No, but that was the thing. That's what I was going to say. It's like, because he's only played, like for Michael Keane, from his defence,
don't put those two words together.
Is that he hasn't played for months and months and months in the Premier League, and you're coming on against a team that is it's difficult to play against. They keep the ball. Where Patterson, okay, he never got on the pitch last week at Forest, but he played the week before against Arsenal for 80 minutes, whatever, before he went off. So he's been in the Premier League. He's played a few times. Moyes had him on time, so he's almost up to that level, that speed, the fittest he's been for a while. Now, hopefully, the lad will get in and play the last 5. If Tahi's done, he'll play the last 5 games. We'll get a chance to see O'Brien and Branthwaite. That might dictate what we do in the transfer market as well in the summer. And the only other place is really then, we could put Irabun in and out, of course we could. And then the only other place is the strikers. And Brozier, let's be honest, much as I think he's a talented footballer, he's not going to be the answer for goals. And if the manager doesn't see him being able to play wide, then you may as well have him on a bench. He's not going to be at Everton. Aren't paying any money for him next season. No chance. And therefore, Beto, we know what Beto can do. He's a squad striker. So Chimiti, to me, would be the one that you go, well, let's have a look. Let's see if you've got anything about you that I think you're in my squad next season. And if you haven't, we'll try and get you alone, because he's got attributes, but he's still, I haven't looked, but probably if you look at the game, he's probably played 20 games in his career, maybe at the top level.
At both clubs,
You know, because hardly played for us.
It is slightly worrying though that he can't get into the squad when you do think that opportunity is right in front of you to play games. The manager has to see you. Beto, I still think if a good offer come in, we'd sell him, because it would really help PSR by having, like, if you could get what is left sort of financially on the books for him, I think you take that opportunity because that's your PSR money. I think
the only I'm saying I don't disagree, but the problem I think is if Dom's going, which it looks like he will, Brozier ain't here. There's a huge question mark over Chimiti now. Beto's the only one out of 4 who will score goals in the Premier League, who is still on Everton's book. We don't know. I think Chimiti's got the attributes to do it, but he's not done it. So all of us at the moment we're just going, he might be able to do it. And you're looking and going, and I know they're looking at Liam Delap, and I know they're looking at a couple of other strikers. We probably, if we're being all honest, we probably need 2 and Chimiti. You know, if Dom, Brozier and they listen to enough of them better. We definitely need two, and Schmitty. And we need two at different, maybe one a little bit older, maybe the lap style, and then Schmitty's like, can you break in with these? Because that's where we're at. You've got to have these lads who, A, we need them to be fit. B, we need them to be mobile, fast, can score goals. Not talking 30 goal a season, because they're not there. Or if they are, they'll be going to your teams who are looking to win the league. But one who you look and go, he could easily get 12 goals in the Premier League. There's a few of them around who you look and go, got the attributes, now can we give them the chances? But wide, we need players. But you're right, those couple of players who were still a little bit like that about, they've got a huge opportunity now to go, I'm worth a go. I want to be in your squad. This manager says a lot without saying anything. It's Beto. I mean, he's been asked about Beto. We've been like, never gone overboard, has he? He's gone, he's done all right, And you're looking, you're thinking, you can see him going, I want better. He almost said it consistently, we need better players. So that's where we are, and it's up to the lads to go and do the business. And again, I expect the left back to come in as well. But saying that, I give Mykolenko man of the match at the weekend, because I thought he had a really good game. And they doubled up on him early with De Bruyne and Silva, and he sort of seen that challenge off, because Kevin De Bruyne ended up going and playing inside. But I did love the clapping him every time he went to take a corner, because obviously what I took from that was Evertonians going, he said he wants to stay in the Premier League.
Absolutely.
And we want to make him think, we love you, come and play for us. And I like that. 4D chess, but the gladdest seat in the park and we're playing, so I love that. I'm all day with that. But let's have a look at Mykolenko's stats from the game. Ground duels, 100% of his ground duels, 3 out of 3, 100% accuracy with his crossing, 3 clearance, 3 ball recoveries, and completed 2 out of 2 of his dribbles. Very good. And again, in a really good vein of form. I think 1v1, he's probably one of the best 1v1 in the Premier League, and as a defensive fullback. And going the other way is, we know it's not his natural game, and therefore there was one I said before early on, Harrison put it in, and if he'd have been a Maatsen, and I watched him destroy Newcastle, it was unbelievable, a Maatsen or a Kerkez or one of those attacking fullbacks, he'd have come in round the back and been in, because the ball got floated in and everyone was attracted to the ball, and he started to go and stopped, and if he'd have carried on, he'd have been at the back post with a tapping. And it's those, that's what we're missing.
Needs to be deprogrammed, doesn't he? It's like depro. He's probably thinking, but if I don't get it and they break,
and they clear, we're in trouble.
We're in trouble. So you have to risk, don't you, to your play. And we don't have a lot of that in our team, so it is almost like being deprogrammed from what they've been used to for the last few. Not that Moyes doesn't err on the side of caution also, but you've got to have a team. That's again where you've got to have energetic players, so your left back can go forward and your midfielder are going to cover you and all that. We just don't have it at the moment. But no, I thought he had a really good game. I thought he was really solid, and the irony was the goal came down his side.
Yeah, and people might pick me up on that, but
I thought he had a really good game.
Thought he had a good game, but I thought he's been in good form. He brilliant against Salah the other week, wasn't he? And then when Arsenal had played, didn't play against Arsenal, didn't he? But the Forest away.
Spirits haven't played against Arsenal. The spirits haven't. He was in Patterson.
Channeled us in a Mykolenko. No, listen, he's done well. Let's have a look at the overall match stats from the game. Everton 0, Manchester City 2, 8 shots to Everton, 12 to Manchester City, 3 on target for the Toffee, 7 for the Citizens. See what I did there? The XG 0.91 from Everton to 2.04. That's just their goals. And the possession 33% to Everton, 67% to Manchester City. Listen, I couldn't sit here and go Everton. We should have won the game because City were a better team, but we could have got something out of the game. And again, David Moyes has come in and he's give us that in every game. We've lost 3 games in 13. Is it 14? And the 3 games have been tight. Villa, we missed really good opportunities against Villa. Liverpool, we it's a post, we have a goal chalked off, that their goal was offside, and then this was tight for
3 very good teams
and 3 really good sides, 3 sides in the top 4, 5, whatever
3 sides who played in the Champions League this season.
So it's been narrow defeats, and I think the manager's done brilliantly to sort of drag us to that level with what he's got. and I don't know about you, but I said last week I was really enthused by that win at Forest about what he can add in the summer to what we can be next season. And when I look in the Premier League, you look and go, you know, there's some good sides to this, but there's still that middle bit. Brighton getting battered again, and you're like, Brentford are, you know, they're a fun team, aren't they? They score lots and concede lots. But you look and you go, probably wouldn't take much to put Everton in that bracket where
goals is what it,
you know,
takes.
but it will take goals, and that's
goals.
The key, isn't it? Moving forward,
it is.
And we keep saying
it's
it.
the hardest thing, but that's what it's going to take. It's going to take goals.
Okay, it is that. Before we finish off, you're right. It is the hardest thing, but we've lost 3 and 14 with no goals early in our team. So if you go, well, can we get someone on the right who will put the ball in the net 6 or 7 times? And Jai's got 9. Can we get you know, Decore for all of this, you know, when he scores, and why haven't they given me? He's only got 3 goals. You know, Dwight McNeil's got 3. If we were getting 7 and 8s from those positions, and then a striker who was Beto played 38 games, he'd get double figures. People might be made up with that, but so what I mean is, if you add them, then
put it this way, right? Put it this way. From the midfield, from the defence onwards, there's only 2 players I'd keep in the entire squad.
In the
entire squad.
And Jai and Ghana.
Yeah. They're the only 2. Okay. Everyone else would be bombed. People might want to wear that. People might think James Garner's the best thing since sliced bread. He's not. Right. Dwight McNeil.
We should always be looking for better.
No, but right now. Seriously.
But you couldn't do it.
If I could do it, if I was allowed to do it.
Okay.
But within means.
But goals.
Every single.
Key, though.
The only people who would stay would be Idrissa Gana Gueye and Jai. The others would all be gone. All of them. So every midfielder and every centre forward, every wide man, and Jai and Idrissa Gana Gueye, the only 2. If people want to argue with that, I'll have an argument all day. They're not good enough. They are simply not good enough. I would get rid of every single one of them. And that might seem very harsh. That is the only way the Everton Football Club can go forward.
Yeah, but some of them would be good squad players, though. But I think if you... I'm talking about the team. Yeah. Where we are to where we want to go, absolutely, of course. Because I'm hearing Copites say we need 7 new players, and they're about to piss the league. So, quite clearly, your players have got to get better and better. But if we want to jump from sort of where we are... Listen, we're 13th, we're not mad. We're 6 points behind Brentford, I think it is, or whatever it is. We're not miles behind Fulham, and they've had a great season, but we haven't. So you're thinking, can we get the goal? It is going to be pace and goals, isn't it? That will help us jump. Because I think defensively, the structure and what we have in front of it is quite good. The goals against prove it, I think. There was only the top 3, I think, who conceded less than Everton before Saturday. So therefore, we're doing a lot right, I think, from that structure, but it is going to be pace and goals, isn't it, that are going to change.
You've got to be surgical, and you've got to be ruthless. And I think if Moyes had the money, he would be. And I think, you know, as I said, I think the whole of that midfield and the whole of that forward line would be just completely removed. Yes, you might keep the odd player. James Garner might seem like a good squad player.
I think Eddie Boonham's got... I think he might need coaching and stuff, but where you're going to play him. But but it is... Everyone... You could get a better goalie. You would if you could get a better centre-back. I would a better... You would, because that's how you progress and that's how you win stuff. You don't go, well, I love these players, so we're not buying. That gets you in trouble. Doesn't it? You know. So.
There's no sentiment, though. No. You can't have a sentiment.
Look, hang on. Manchester City aren't offering Kevin De Bruyne a new contract. And he's still on Saturday proved he's unbelievable. And yet he's not getting another contract at a club.
It'd be criminal.
Been amazing.
It'd be criminal if he was allowed to move to
us,
the MLS or Saudi.
No, he's still a top player.
He is a fantastic player.
You know, and that ability, but that's what I'm saying, that's the level of ruthlessness, isn't it? He's been amazing, won everything for them. He'd still be a really good squad player for them and things like that. And yet it looks like, if you listen to him, that they're not going to keep him. And then that's a team you're going, as if he's not going to add something, even if you bring energy, as if he's not going to add something to you. So therefore, if that level they're going, not sure, then
I think
we've got to do.
I think Moyes thinks like that, though.
I will.
I think Moyes thinks
he will. I
want better Everton.
I looked at having this discussion yesterday with a few not Evertonians, with other at a party, and so about West Ham, and just everyone's just pissing themselves laughing at West Ham, like the cheek of them that they had David Moyes, who made them, won them a European trophy, got them in Europe every year. They went, look at them. For the second time, they thought they're above him. And I've put themselves in the shit twice.
I think the lesson with West Ham is they're not above anyone because they're not a very big club.
No, but that's the thing, isn't it? And again, Moyes makes you better no matter what. Makes you better. He's a really, really good manager. So his levels are there, and you have to look at us and go, well, okay, he's got a good basis. Yeah. We've got a clean slate from July the 1st. We're going to be able to bring players in. There's money to spend, big stadium, good core, and it's
the best thing going for West Ham is the stadium doesn't have any right angles.
There you go.
That's what I'm. You know, it's great for baseball.
There's nothing else to say.
No.
And that bubble machine is good, to be fair. It's not. If you're looking at bubbles, I wouldn't do it.
Sell them in town.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't do it. But I'm saying for them, they must be happy because there's no obstructive views for the bubbles. So they've sorted. It's good. It's good. And Sam Avery,
same shape as the stadium,
and they've got a slide close by.
Yeah, I've got a big slide.
And the shopping centre.
Big shopping centre.
The shopping centre's really nice back there. So
I'm convinced.
There you go. But as a team progressing, they've lost the marbles getting rid of David Moyes. But there you go. I'm feeling more confident about the summer and about next season. We're sorted this season. The manager's come in, delivered last month, didn't he? But it's all done. And let us know what you think in the comments section below. A bit frustrating because a couple of different things, you might have got a different outcome, but they're still a very good side. And let me know what you think in the comments section below. Are you frustrated? Is it one of them things? What are you looking for? What do we need? What would you do with the midfield and the forwards? Are you in Peds camp? Let us know in the comments section below. We're carrying on Premier now, going through your comments. Otherwise, like, subscribe. Thank you for getting us over 99,000. Now, do the next bit and get us to the 100. 980 or something to go. So, thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.